Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of my video looking at my self-assembled Vruzend battery system and my cooling and heating system, climate control system for this battery. You can see I managed to get it into a really useful box like the previous battery. That was also in a really useful box as well, a padded one. And what I had three main objectives with this battery, and that was, first of all, to ensure there was no electrical contacts within the battery compartment itself. This wiring will obviously all be tidied up, still in a bit of a prototype stage. This wiring will be tidied up, and the battery with hopefully the BMS fits in there like that. Secondly, I wanted to make sure that there was no cold or hot air going directly onto the battery system, so I very carefully made sure that wasn't going to be the case. I baffled the heating system, and I baffled the cooling system to make sure that that here, which is the heating system, I'll just go in a bit closer. That here, which is the part of the heating system and faces the battery here, does not go above 20-21 degrees, and that's really where I want the battery to be, around that kind of temperature. So that was the other main issue, was to make sure that that didn't happen. And also we didn't want to get the battery too far above 20 degrees because obviously lithium batteries lose their efficiency and maybe some of their capability if there is too much of a temperature extreme. So how did I set up this system? Well, first of all, I bought a 12-volt lithium battery from eBay, and because I didn't want to take any power out of the main battery system, because I want all that for my motor. So I've got a 12-volt lithium system here, which then powers the brains of the operation, which is this sensor here. You can see it's quite reasonable in Campicola's workshop now, 20 degrees. So I doubt the heating's on here, but as I say, it wouldn't be above 20 degrees anyway on that pad. And then let's have a look at how we're actually achieving the heating. So what we've got is, when this temperature controller comes to the too hot to the designated temperature that you've put in here, which I think I've put in for 23 degrees, it then switches on the cooling system, and when it's too cold, it then switches on the heating system. Now the heating system consists of a silicon covered pad, 10 watt 12 volt, that you might find in an aquarium, or something like a reptile aquarium, something like that. There's two of those. This is one that I haven't finished yet. This one is the finished one, and you can see that I've put it actually on an aluminium pad to help dissipate the heat, and that's how, one of the reasons that I've achieved the temperature of 20 degrees along this strip here, which obviously is where the battery is facing, so that's quite critical. And the second way is that I've put some floor covering, foam floor covering, with some tape on, aluminium tape on that, to even further dissipate the heat to get it down to 20 degrees. And the same will happen on this part here. And so it's safe, and the battery is not being overheated or shocked in one particular area, which is very much what we want to try and avoid with this. The cooling system I've devised is actually a peltier based system. This is a peltier pad here. It's quite an old system invented by Mr. Peltier. When you pass a 12 volt current, in this case, through this pad here, it gets hot on one side and cold on the other. In fact, ice forms on this. So one of these is in there, and you can see that's the fan that blows the cold air from the peltier. I'll just zoom in so you can see that better than it currently is. So you can see that's where the peltier pad is in there. There's a heat sink, and then the fan blows the cold air out of there. At the front of the box, I've managed to bolt on a fan to take the hot air away from the peltier pad. It's very important that the pad is well cooled because it can easily overheat. So that's why there's such a large fan on this side compared to the peltier pad side and the inlet fan. So we'll just go back and have a look at a wider view, and we can see there's quite a difference there in size, but I still managed to get it in the really useful box, which is quite important. Now, I paid particular attention to baffling, and you can see that I have baffled the cold against this 12 volt lithium battery here, and I've baffled it against the main battery, which is coming in here. And what's actually happening is the cold is coming through here over the BMS, and then it will go down the side of the battery, and then it will filter through the rest of the battery itself, because there is a fan on the end here. Just here there's a mini fan which is connected into the cold system, which is all just wired in at the back of the sensor here. That's how you connect everything together, and that gives us a nice draw through of cool air around the battery, as I said. Let's see if we can get this to go. What I'll do is I'll just warm up the sensor, which is attached to the temperature control device here. You can see I've sheathed it in some rubber there because we certainly don't want any metal sensors rattling about in this box. Let's see if I can warm it up a bit. There we go, and the peltier system is now switched on. We'll get our temperature gun and see what's what. So you can see here, because it's around 20-21 at the moment in the workshop, so that's what we've got on the heat plate. We'll see what we've got on the peltier. It does take a while for peltier systems to work up at a 12 volt. Let's have, yeah, still 20. So yeah, this takes a while, a few minutes to get things going, and then obviously you've got your cold air coming through here. So to control all of this and to control the inputs, I've got a battery controller here. I think this was off Amazon. So this is controlling currently. I've got it currently on the mains, charging. So this control mains, it does have the function to also control other inputs like solar, and what I'm proposing to do is put some additional electricity in from this bike dynamo, which is a 12 volt 6 watt model. Now the way I've configured my Gleon scooter is that I've put a new motor on the front. Previously the original motor put the brakes on when you took your hand or finger off the accelerator button. This motor is a scooter motor and does not do that. It freewheels, which means that I can get some energy on the dynamo without coming directly from the battery, from driving off the battery. I will get some freewheeling energy from the battery, and it's surprising how much freewheeling you actually do. Because I'm freewheeling the scooter now, the range has vastly improved. Because previously, as I say, the brakes came on and there was no gain in momentum at all between the accelerator and the brake, so I quickly got rid of that. So that's the plan, is to use the dynamo. Okay, so let's have a look, see what's happening with the peltier. Now you can see it's gone down to 1311. Just varies as to where I'm catching it on that plate there, which you can see is now starting to get, I think there's some condensation on there. It's certainly getting cooler. So quite an effective system. Peltier plates are used in various electronics, even phones actually. There's a gaming phone that uses a Peltier plate system, and that is an ideal way, I think, to have a mini cooling function within your battery box. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. This prototype, I think, is going to be finished maybe in a couple of weeks when I get round to it. Maybe I'll disassemble the battery first, see if I can get that working properly. But that's it. That's how I've made a little compact climate control system for my homemade Vruzend supplied battery. Any comments, any information, put it down in the comments section. If you like the video, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it.